I never thought selling organs could be wholesome, but forget me not, my organic garden found a way. Out of the blue, I had persistent thoughts about it, from its minimalistic adorable aesthetics, interesting narrative context, and somewhat zen gameplay. Playing it again this August made me reflect and appreciate just how cool this little game is, and kinda sad that not many people talk about it. Yeah, it's a clicker plus visual novel hybrid. What did I expect? First, what really is it about? In the opening cutscene, we are introduced to Irene the Witch and Organa, her apprentice. Organa is our player character. While Irene deals with clients and the overall management of the place, we take care of the greenhouse that just so happens to grow human organs from trees. Yeah, you heard me. Organs like kidneys, hearts, stomachs can grow like plants in this universe. Just add some water in these special trees, wait a little, and collect the fruits of your labor. So this is what it feels like to find a solution for organ trafficking. This sounds like a green setup for a possibly dark and subversive fairy tale. Instead, the game plays it fairly straight. Magic in game is framed as a somewhat everyday occurrence. People young and old are aware it exists and make use of it in order to solve their daily problems. Also contributing to a fairly ordinary magical world is the minimalistic art style. The simple lines, strong colors, contrasting with the white background do highlight the characters, their cartoony features, their personalities, and overall mood. Some may find it bland, and it really is, but like my attention deficit, I just like the colors. The visuals, combined with a soundtrack composed of mostly soft violin and piano notes, contribute to a dreamlike state that is very soothing, allowing your mind to calm down and just do whatever you want at your own pace. While the beginning is peaceful enough, later on your garden will be filled with more trees and animal helpers that do contribute to the feeling of a living, breathing, magical greenhouse. I love it when the job does itself. I kinda like it, but after 20 plus hours I can see these sound effects getting very annoying. Let's get the most boring part out of the way. This game, regardless which way you look at it, it is a clicker game. Or if you want to be fancy, an incremental game. You obtain resources that do the clicking for you. Alongside the clicker game mechanic, there are narrative elements similar to a visual novel. The narrative part of this game is a reward for reaching certain milestones, like getting to a certain level, or delivering X amount of one or several types of organs, and so on. And in true clicker fashion, these goals can get pretty ridiculous. And that's cutthroat. Every time a story event is ready, the door lights up, we meet a client and take part in moments of their stories. And they are easily the best part of this whole game. Since we work at a store, we never get to fully know every single person that comes in. The brief moments shared with them are more than enough to get a good read on their personality, their motives, and how are we part in that story. I can appreciate just how interesting the premise of a magical store that sells organs is. My focus on this video is going to be on these stories. If you are interested in playing and exploring this whole game for yourself, consider this your spoiler warning for a 5-year-old obscure game that nobody cares. But I do. I won't go into detail to every single story of the game, I'll just focus on the ones I find the most interesting. The ones that do somewhat of a good job on exploring the premise of a magical shop and the problems that come with it. And maybe find out why this little game has been on my mind for so long. So take our notes for a new future business venture, and let's go! Just like the initial cutscene implies, the organs cultivated in the garden work just like the real thing for living beings, serving as adequate substitutes, but they also can be inserted into objects to instill them with life, or even return life to the dead. However, organs cannot return a dead body's original soul. It is also possible to kill the soul inside these organs and maintain their vital functions. I thought murdering souls would be more satisfying. To start off, after growing a fresh batch of kidneys, we get our first customer, a quiet boy who has taken interest in giving life to this doll. Using these organs to give life to an inanimate object is both very creepy and very interesting. Later on, the very same doll comes alone to the shop, complaining how sad things are. That despite having the ability to talk and move, she can't eat or drink and feels very awkward trying to get to know her master better. Not being able to share these small moments with the boy, she requests a stomach. Afterwards, she also notices that alcohol is really popular with humans and also requests a liver. I want 3, thank you very much. With more and more parts being added, the more human the doll becomes, until a final visit with her owner, and they come to terms being happy just the way they are. A happy ending, so to speak. The same can't be completely said for the next story. This girl and her cat. A very young girl enters the store demanding a heart, so her cat can speak, be cute, and most important, be her best friend. Oh, she's learning how to define nature, that's cute. While Irene warns her against it, since a body can only hold one soul at a time, and multiple ones inside a single body can lead to disaster. Later on, the girl simply ignores the warning and will fulfill her organ request. Later on, she appears holding her cat's dead body, admitting she was its murderer, and requesting a heart so it may come back to life again. Holy shit, that was quick and dark. I remember the first time I saw this and I was shocked. While a grim idea, the game does not often get this serious. We just give her a heart and not too long after she's unhappy. A cute cat does not mean it will say cute things. What did you expect? I would be mad too if I died and came back. While that happened, the girl ponders about changing the cat's heart for another one. Oh shit. Only on her final visit, she changes her mind and is happy with the cat just the way it is. She gives a new heart as a token of appreciation. Both the cat and girl learn how to better deal with each other. Another happy ending. Even the darkest story has a happy ending. Nearing each chapter's ending, we keep meeting this mysterious woman in black, who keeps taking our first batch of excellent organs to an obsessive degree, and she never pays for it. Where's the police? Her blank stare, hollow smile, and foreboding presence demonstrate how quickly the game's sound escape can change and pull the rug under the player. Suddenly, the room is filled with a pervasive sense of dread that keeps ramping up with every encounter. To be fair, the minimal animation of this game really works to its advantage. After all, it is scary when something that doesn't move just suddenly does. Later on, it is revealed that Irene and this woman in black named Chica were students under the same alchemy master. Chica apparently has killed her brother in an accident and has been collecting organs to bring him back to life. That's family for you. During her research, Chica was able to produce human organs directly from her skin, and these organs are on overdrive, being more powerful than the natural variant. On the final confrontation between Chica and Irene, the final organ to revive her brother is badly damaged. Chica produces stomachs containing deadly acid and hurls at Irene. Organa, without thinking, jumps at the acid shower, shielding her master. Chica runs away, Organa passes out, and Irene runs against the clock to save her. After days, Organa survives. Another happy ending. I'm sensing a pattern here. I have nothing against gleeful conclusions. Honestly, I think we all could have some more of that. But hear me out. Just think on how interesting the premise of the shop that sells organs is. Every time I keep thinking about it, immediately my mind goes to problems like this. What would be the ethical problems of giving life to inanimate objects? These objects that have been given life also display sentience. Should they also receive rights as living beings? Because of these plans, could something so complex like an organ transplant become as simple as exchanging a cog in a machine? What about if a magical organ fails? What happens then? What if someone tries to use these organs to extend their life? Could it even be done in the first place? It is explicitly stated that organs that grow on trees also do have their own souls. We can kill their souls and keep the organ functional. Are we murderers in this process too? I have so many questions that the more I think about it, could be spun into a much more interesting tale than the game presents. Of course, personal imagination is going to be more appealing to who created it. That says a lot about me, but the questions I came up also highlight why I won't forget this game. It is much more interesting to think about it than to actually play it. The fact that the game comes close to these topics but never fully addresses them is kind of a missed opportunity here. For lack of a better word, it feels incomplete, whether by design or happenstance. Even after the final chapter, there are some endgame stories that are neat, curious, and a little sinister. In many ways, it is not a bad thing for clicker games to have a story. Some of them do, but it's mostly on the background for the mindless gameplay. Speaking of developers, this game was made by the Japanese indie studio Cavi House. They do seem to have a passion for making visual novels more interesting with a light gameplay hook. While only 3 games have been released on Steam, with a few getting ports to Android and iOS, they have actually 5 games on their total catalog, and they all seem to focus on the matters of dreams, mortality, fate, and you could say I'm intrigued to find out more about them. Sadly, most of their website and social media are in Japanese, and machine translation can only go so far. Visual novels are not my cup of tea, with some exceptions. Yet, I can still appreciate the fact that someone is trying new things in this genre often seen as stale and kinda samey. Sadly, there are not many interviews or articles about the developers, and I really would like some light on how their game-making philosophy is. Their next project is a prequel to Forget Me Not, telling Irene's story before she became an alchemist. Also, they seem to be expanding their horizons, tackling a roguelike dungeon farmland, where you can cultivate dungeon loot to craft items and prepare to tackle challenges later on. Looks very rough, but I already can feel some artistic flair that leaves me ever more curious. This looks like an obscure and abstract PS2 or GameCube game that time forgot. We don't really get many of those. Keep up the good work, guys. To sum up, Forget Me Not is a very flawed game that may not be sung among the best. Having a story with a lot of imagination and creativity which sadly does not tap into its full potential, joined with gameplay that does not complement it at all, even if narratively justified. After playing it to completion twice, I can still look back at this particular screen with the satisfaction of a job well done. Looking at this virtual garden with the sounds of the creatures brings me a weird sensation of peace in these uncertain times. Something I believe we could all have some more for a change. Oh, right. Have not introduced myself. How rude of me. I'm the Vagrant Scribbler. If that's too much, Vinny works as well. Hope this small overview of a game, while not traditionally good, was interesting to you too. I guess for now I'll play games and write about whatever catches my attention. As long as I find it interesting, I'll most likely be making a video on it. As always, I appreciate the feedback, stay tuned for the next video, and thanks for watching.